Fit to Love, episode 72, Emotional Energy Management.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flazanes.
Hello and welcome to Fit to Love Thoughtful Thursdays. Today's show, Emotional Energy Management. This show became really apparent that I needed to do it and publish it soon. Pretty soon after I made the first one, which was episode number 40, and that was energy management. Energy management, I got a lot of feedback from people more in person. I invite all of you, though, to please speak to me via the website and definitely leave a comment if that was helpful to you. But I did hear a lot of thank yous. Thank you for doing that show. And I appreciate the feedback that I'm getting. I just want some of you that I haven't met in person or that I don't work with to let me know how you're receiving some of these shows. And while that show was really based on physical attributes, physical habits that we have that can help us cultivate and really maximize our own energetic potential for what we produce in our bodies, it didn't take into consideration the emotional energy aspect of energy management. And I knew that that was going to be coming up in the future. I wasn't sure where to put it, but now I'm crystal clear. We are putting it here today, Thoughtful Thursday, Emotional Energy Management, because it is becoming the holidays here, and the holidays always evoke emotions from people, and they could be good emotions or bad emotions. It doesn't really matter, but it's a very heightened time for emotions. And if you're not someone who's currently really aware or even comfortable having emotions, then I would invite you to sit back and maybe decide to listen to the other show first. And then if that show doesn't answer the questions that you may have or doesn't help you get more energy into your body and into your life, then come back and listen to the show, because this show is going to really be about emotions. So the first thing I'm going to say is that we just recently did a show, actually yesterday, that was acupuncture for the emotional body. And I'm bringing that up because it's a really great show to listen to understand Chinese medicine looks at the body and assesses how energy moves through the body. And when energy gets stuck in one part of the body, that part of the body, let's say it's an organ, that organ correlates with an emotion. And so if you're having problems, let's say in the lungs, or with breathing, or with catching your breath, or with taking a deep breath, that there could be grief that you're still dealing with, or that's stuck in your body because you haven't processed it yet. And it's a really touchy subject, obviously, to be talking about emotions, but it's so important because how we feel is everything. How we feel, we want everything that we want because we think we'll feel better when we have it. And that's a law of attraction idea and terminology, which would be on a Freedom Friday, but it belongs here today because if you take a look at anything in life that you want, you only want it because you think you'll feel better when you have it, whether you feel safer, whether you feel more successful, whether you feel happier or more free. It's all about how we feel. And many people do not stop to take their feelings into consideration. Now, that's probably more of a left brain population that I'm speaking to right now. If you're someone that powers through because you know you need to get to the end of the day or the end of the project, and that's fine. Sometimes we just have to do that for survival. But at the end of the day, what are we really working towards? Feeling better, having freedom, being complete, getting the thing that we worked so hard to get. It's still all in pursuit of a feeling. Now, on the flip side of that, there are a lot of people that get so enmeshed in the overwhelming negative feelings that they find it hard to let go of that feeling and to find a new feeling. And I think we've addressed it on some other show, but if we haven't, then today will be the first. But a feeling is created by a thought. First, you have to have a thought or interpret a situation, and then from your interpretation of the situation, it generates a feeling. So thoughts come before feelings. But a lot of the times, most people aren't aware of the thoughts or beliefs that produced the emotion. So let's just, for the sake of this show, we're not going to get too deeply into the thinking part of this, into the thought part. We're just going to focus on the feeling part and how the feelings play out in your body in terms of emotional energy, and how managing your emotions can also help you understand how to manage your day, help you to understand how to manage your life and plan for and plan around certain times in your life where you are pretty sure you're going to have some strong emotions, or at least maybe you can transform that into not having strong emotions, but at least you're prepared for it and you're not thrown by it and you're not denying it. Because the denial part is also the part that really sucks our energy. When you do not allow that energy of the emotion to flow through you and out of you, you keep it inside and it gets stuck. And that energy will drain you. It is stuck energy and it will pull you down. It will weigh you down. And so when you're holding on to a lot of especially negative energy and negative emotion, then you're going to lack energy and vitality in your body and vitality in your life. So it's not about, if you're depressed, that you need to drink more coffee because caffeine is going to give you a boost and somehow that's going to feel better. It's about changing the feeling and identifying the feeling. So let's just start with, what do we do with this information? Especially now during the holidays, but at any given time, checking in with how you feel. Not about the situation or about what has happened to you or what you think someone made you feel, because they didn't make you feel anything, is to check in at, several times throughout the day or a week and see how it is you're feeling. But to be able to be clear and to get to that place, you do need to create a little bit of stillness, a little bit of quietness, even if it's just internal. Maybe there's chaos going on all around you, but you're able to close your eyes, ground yourself, and focus on your breath for a minute. We did a show with Lynn Boutrous about strengthening your intuition. It was on a Freedom Friday. And that show also kind of coached us through how to tap into the inner guidance and the inner knowing that you already have inside of you. And too often we're looking outside of ourselves for guidance and answers when we really possess a deeper understanding of what's going on inside of us. Now, you might not have the vocabulary to explain to somebody else what you're feeling, but learning to cultivate an awareness and then a vocabulary of what you're feeling is really, really beneficial in understanding how to manage your energy. So first, we're going to start with identifying the feeling. So let's say you're feeling really tired and you've had a long day and you just chalk it up to that it's been a long day. But you sit for a little while in silence and you check in with yourself and you ask, how am I feeling? And what might come up for you is, I'm feeling tired. But it might be more than that. Maybe something happened at work today between a colleague and yourself. Maybe there's a contract floating around that will really affect you if it gets passed or if it doesn't. Maybe there's another situation at work that, again, your future kind of depends on the outcome of the situation. So underneath that tiredness is also probably anxiety and a little bit of being unsure and being scared. And if you check in and go that deep down to scared, then you'll understand why you're so tired. And in that moment, you can either embrace being afraid, or you can kind of problem solve, if you will, after you've allowed the feeling to be there, what your strategy would be in all scenarios. So that way we can transform that being scared or having anxiety into something more productive so that you know that you have options. This might sound like a little bit more work than most of you are willing to do, but I really truly invite you, if you're someone who deals with a lack of energy, you're always tired, and you've already listened to episode 40 on energy management, and you're already sleeping enough, and you're eating great, and you're exercising, and all those things you can check mark off because you're doing them, but yet you're still feeling a lack of energy, it's most likely emotion. And having strong emotions is going to take energy out of you. So for instance, I've been working with Dr. Lynn Boutros on a couple different issues in life, and she's really a great intuitive and clairvoyant for helping to pull sort of stuck old energy that your subconscious has, and your conscious mind's fine. My life is great. I am having a great time, and I look around and I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful every single day. But there are things that have happened in my past that are still stuck in my body. And those things still vibrate at a level that attract. And they attract things that I don't necessarily want all the time. And they're sort of little roadblocks, if you will. They slow me down a little bit, and they get in the way sometimes. And half of them I'm not even necessarily aware of, because I haven't really looked beyond what's in front of me in my conscious mind to ask, well, what am I holding on to? So in one of our last sessions, we sort of took a deeper dive into something my body was holding on to, and I emoted in a way that was a release, but it wasn't enough of a release. And for all of you women out there, and I'm sure you men too, for anyone that's had a really, really good deep cry, it's exhausting. I mean, it feels good to have the release when it's over, but it does just release so much energy out of your body that it leaves you a little depleted. And when that happens, sometimes people think that they're just supposed to keep going with life and attack everything at the same energy level they were doing before and shove it under the rug and ignore it. And the reality of it is that's going to creep back up and bite you if you don't honor it and give it some space. So in order to give it some space, I took it easy last night. I took a bath. I didn't record any shows. I think I watched some television and asked my husband to bring home dinner. I didn't even cook because I needed to regenerate, because that emotion takes energy. And I just want to make sure that you're aware of that and you honor that. So if you've had a fight with someone, or if you've cried recently, or if you're anxious all the time, that anxiety has a vibration and an energy that needs energy. It takes energy from your body to produce the body twitching, the constant mind going. So just remember that part of this energy management process is understanding and managing your emotions. And then, of course, after releasing them, you transform them. So I want to go over right now a 22-point list of the highest vibration, highest frequency emotion, which would be joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. And when you're tapped into that feeling, that gives you energy. When you have joy and love, I remember when my husband and I first met and we first started dating, I didn't eat for days. I was so filled with so much love and excitement and joy that I wasn't hungry and I wasn't sleepy and I was never tired. I was on cloud 9 because the emotion of joy and love and freedom and empowerment and appreciation filled me so much with energy. And if there's no other reason to encourage you to reach for a better feeling thought and to come on over to Freedom Fridays and to do and practice law of attraction and positive thinking and really learn to embrace your thoughts and transforming them into and accepting sort of the contrast of your life, is that more positive emotions give you energy. When you think of someone who's happy, you think of someone who's got energy. When you think of someone who's depressed, you think of someone who has no energy. So having energy is absolutely 100% directly correlated with the emotions that you're holding on to in your body and experiencing. I'm taking this list from Ask and It Is Given, which is a Abraham Hicks Law of Attraction book, but there are other books out there. David Hawkins has a book about power versus force, and that also has a list. And there are other works out there that have looked at the different frequencies and vibration of emotion, but I just happen to grab this one because it's next to me. So the next one down, number 2, would be passion. Having passion. Haven't you ever met somebody that's just so passionate? It's engaging. It's exciting. Their passion almost gets you excited. It gives you energy. And on the flip side, have you met somebody who's passionless? I dated a guy a long time ago, and I remember thinking that the guy was too laid back. And I asked him once, are you passionate about anything? And I think he said, I don't think so. And of course, I knew pretty quickly that was going to end because of that very reason. There was no energy in his life about any specific thing. And when you're passionate about something, you light up. Again, your energy could light up a light bulb just from the emotion that you're having. So the next is enthusiasm, eager, and happiness. And right now I'm going down the scale. So we're going a little less until we start to turn into a neutral place. So I'm just going to read down to the neutral. So after enthusiasm is positive expectation and belief. And then below that's optimism. Below that's hopefulness. Below that's contentment. And then boredom. So around contentment and boredom, I'm going to put that that's kind of neutral. And part of the process of managing your emotional energy is figuring out where you are and how just to sort of get some relief by climbing up a step or two. You're not going to go from anger to joy in 5 minutes. You're not even going to go to anger to joy in 24 hours. But if you can go from anger to disappointment, that's a step up in the right direction. That's releasing some of that negative energy. If you can go from disappointment up to hopeful, if you can find hope, then that's going to give you and take you over that line of being a little bit more energetic. So once we get to boredom and contentment, that's 7 and 8, now from the rest down from 9 down to 22, we get less and less and less energy. So number 7 was contentment, 8 was boredom, 9 is pessimism. So if you're just a pessimistic person, you're just taking energy out of you all the time. Pessimistic people can almost be like vampires, where they just look at things and think the worst of everything. And while it's not the lowest on the emotional scale, it's still that zapping away of your energy. So remember, it's always better energetically to be hopeful versus pessimistic. So what are you going to lose? Well, you'll lose a lot of energy if you decide to be pessimistic. And if you're listening to my show and you're pessimistic, let me know, because that'd be interesting for me. Number 10 is frustration, irritation, impatience. 11 is overwhelm. 12 is disappointment. 13 is doubt. 14 is worry. 15 is blame. 16 is discouragement. And 17 is anger. Now there are 5 more. We have 5 more emotions, and we're getting lower and lower on the vibrational energy frequencies for your body. And before we go over those, because they're really important to understand how they take your energy, we're going to take a break and thank our sponsors. If you are like most people who struggle with overeating, you may feel powerless over your habits and urges to eat. Powerless over what and how much you eat. Break the vicious cycle of emotional eating and take back your power over food with Dr. Lisa Gelper. Dr. Lisa Gelper has helped thousands discover their own power over food and help them to win freedom from the obsession and defeat that haunt yo-yo dieters, emotional eaters, and those who just hope to lose some weight. Visit her site at poweroverfood.com to read her articles, watch her videos, sign up for her monthly email tips, and check out her current classes. Again, that's poweroverfood.com. Is your website working for you? If it's not, and you're frustrated with your brand, website, or current online results, Every Angle Media can help transform your existing business presence and build you a website that works when you're not working. Every Angle Media is a full-service web development firm that specializes in solving problems with open-source solutions. We offer complete design services, custom content management systems, fully integrated e-commerce solutions, cross-platform mobile development, and custom third-party integration, and we're here to help. Visit our site to see our work at everyanglemedia.com or give us a call at 310-798-7228. Again, that's everyanglemedia.com. Okay, we've got 5 more lower energy vibration emotions. So under anger would be revenge. Under revenge would be hatred or rage. Number 20 is jealousy. 21 is insecurity, guilt, and unworthiness. And the lowest energy vibrational emotion is fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. And of course, those are all just the same word, the different words to say basically the same thing. Being depressed means you feel powerless. And when you feel powerless, you have no power, or at least your perception is you have no power, which means you have no energy. And being in that place, even if you could get from depression up to jealousy, is a step up in the right direction to feeling a little bit better. So identifying how you're feeling and then getting some help with that so that you can clear and release and process whatever is going on with you, that's going to be a really important tool for you to get back your natural inborn energy that your body cultivates naturally. So if you're someone who has all of these emotions that are stuck inside of you, and the thoughts that you create and the beliefs that you have keep you stuck in some of these negative emotions on a regular basis, now that's not to say that we're not all going to experience these emotions, because we absolutely do. And again, I'm really encouraging you to listen to yesterday's show, which was acupuncture for the emotional body, because Homa does a great job of explaining how acupuncture and emotions and emotional processing works with all of your different organs. We experience these emotions up and down, negative and positive, every day, and they cycle through our bodies. It's the negative side is when we get stuck in one of them for a long period of time. And then that being stuck in that negative emotion will cause dis-ease. It will deplete your body. It will not allow you to regenerate and will keep you stuck. It's an energy sucker. It's an energy drainer from your life. So if you can at least identify, sometimes that's enough just to get you excited. You could be hopeful. You could jump to hopeful if you can identify the feeling. Because once you identify what's going on with you and how you're feeling, then you can figure out how to fix it, how to release it, how to process it, how to allow it to be and then go away, or at least how to transform it into something positive and figure out what its purpose was. And then you can let it go and not carry it around with you any longer. So hopefully something I've said today has sparked an awareness in you. The best way for you to start to become aware of your thoughts and feelings would be to be still and be quiet. And try to slow down the mind by doing some breathing exercises. Listen to the episode I did with Dr. Lynn Boutros that was strengthening your intuition, because the answers that you have are there. And sometimes they come as a thought or an impulse to do something. And learning to be in connection with that part of you will help you to, again, transfer energy. Being in touch with that part of you will help you so much in energy management. I'm not sure that I've talked about it on this show, but I know that I've blogged about it several times. I have a situation where years ago I was dating a guy and I was really angry and discouraged. And I was working an event for a presenter, and I was back in the back of the room while the presentation was going on, and I couldn't focus because I was so frustrated and angry. And in that moment, I took a friend, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to concentrate, and it was sucking my energy and it was pulling my focus. So I had the capabilities, because they were in session and I was kind of on a break, to take a friend into the bathroom. I grabbed a cushion from one of the chairs and I asked her to hold it. And when she held it, I said, I'm going to kick it and then I'm going to punch it. And I just want you to hold it. And I probably kicked it or punched it 3 times, let out a little bit of sound, and through that physical motion, I then burst into tears. And to me, it's like breaking the bubble. Anger is the bubble that really masks the fear and the depression and the guilt. And while anger feels better because there's more energy to anger than there is to depression, it's really sort of the lid on the pot that's keeping it inside. So once I moved through the anger and then I released the fear and the guilt and the depression and the sadness that I was having over the situation, once it came out of me, I was a million times better. I felt great. I had a ton of energy because I could figure out what to do about it. And I wasn't trying to stuff it down or hold on to it, because that takes energy. It takes energy to not release it, to hold on to it. And if you want to have more natural, vibrant energy in your body, you have to add the awareness of the emotional piece to it. It's just that simple. So hopefully I've said something today, or that my story sparked some interesting thoughts for you that you're going to take further. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to share the show if it was something that was interesting to you. And I'd love for you to comment on fit2love.tv. Come on over and let me know if you have a way of getting through some of your different emotions, how you process them in a way, sort of like when I punched out my anger. And I actually still, not that I get angry now as much, but there have been times in my relationship that I've gotten angry and we had a punching bag. So I've used it to release the anger, break that bubble, allow the emotion and energy to flow through me, and then I could get some sleep. Because when you're angry, you're not going to be sleeping, because all that energy is stuck inside of you, boiling like a pot of water on your stovetop. And until you release it, it's going to keep pulling energy from you. I thank you for listening to today's show, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon.
Looking for an engaging and inspiring speaker? Does your group need a good jolt of positive thinking? Look no further than JJ Flizanes. Visit her site to check out her most requested topics and video examples. jjflizanes.com. That's jjflizanes.com.
The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly video casts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fit2love.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT2LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.